Here is Bitcoin's $15,500 cycle low. Here is the current all-time high of Bitcoin, around 74,000. You are looking at Bitcoin in roughly a 2-year-long channel. What we're going to do here is we're going to dive in to the rejection from the bottom of the point of control, which is this blue area. Point of control means half court line, the middle. And I'm going to show you one single line that one of my team leaders on my Discord showed me that I think this will help everybody in a very clear and concise way, whether you're a beginner or an advanced person who might have forgot to look at this. I will let you know, hey, this is essentially the probability flip line. Right now, our probabilities on making guesses on direction is not very good, and also I'm going to show you why in this video. But once that line is crossed, and I'll show you how to put it on your chart and really how to use it, the probabilities will become so much more clearer on not just the macro direction. Are we going to hit 40K? Are we going to bullishly break out in a blue sky breakout and start rocking and rolling in an early bull market? This line will show you that. So with no further ado, let's giddy up. Let's go get some Bitcoin. Ready? Let's go. We're going to zoom in, and I'm going to put on the weekly 21 EMA. And that's why I like having my team leaders on Discord, because sometimes they remind me of items that are important that I have not been in play for a while. So this line has not been in play since April of this year, and it's coming in play right now. And I want to show you a little bit about that. So this will be the deal breaker line, but I haven't showed you why price is going to be sideways. Why it's very hard to analyze right now. We'll get to that next, but I want to show you the more exciting part. So the weekly 21 on Bitcoin, very, very important. Once, typically, you have a closure below it. So a candle ends, it closes, and the next one begins below this. If you don't immediately get back above and use it as support, that is essentially, in previous price history, condemning you to extended downside. So look over here, and all the way back in 2013, Bitcoin went below this, closed the candle below, immediately got back up. The rest of the bull market, that was just a correction in the bull market. The rest of the bull market pursued. But the very next time, after the $1,300 top in 2013, once you went below, couldn't race and stay above, that was it. It was over. The entire 2016 and 2017 bull market, this was by far the most important line. Every single pullback went down exactly to the line, and the candles closed above every time. 100% of every pullback, that was this line. That was before BlackRock and hedge funds were in Bitcoin. They weren't. This was all retail. So this is how price moved. Do you see any dip and rips? No. It's all higher highs and higher lows. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. See, this is natural price action without advanced algorithms. But Bitcoin changed in 2019. Now you have lower low, higher high. That never existed, as you see here. Bitcoin moves completely differently. However, so this rule might not hold up. Bitcoin does move totally differently now. But as of now, it's still 100% accuracy. As of now. Bitcoin is really messing up a lot of these 100% accurate stuff because it simply doesn't move the same. However, this could give you better probabilities, and I'll show you why. So the 20K top over here, 2017, boom. Well, remember, I just said every single bull market dip went down to it and closed above. The first closure below, you did race back up, couldn't stay, boom, bear market confirmed. That easy. One single candle after the 64K top, boom, over. One candle closure. After the 69K top, closed below, couldn't get back above, you got a rejection, boom, bear market. Seeing a trend? Now, pull back to it, closed above, boom, went up. came down to it, closed above, boom, went up. Here was a bear trap. This was right before the news of BlackRock knowing that they're going to get accepted. And so this was a bear trap. This likely wasn't going to happen. This is likely big money selling Bitcoin so that their longs could get filled before the news came out, because we, the people, we plebs, didn't have the news. And this really looks like insider type of stuff. It's a bear trap. So it looked bearish, but it wasn't. So this is a dip and rip. Remember 2017? Did you ever? So this is where the trend broke. The weekly trend broke. It closed below the previous weekly high or low after a higher high. So you went from uptrend to no trend. The trend broke. Every time but once in previous Bitcoin history, that meant bear market or extended downside. Here it didn't. So here we go yet again. Maybe there's some news looming, but I don't think there's any more news. I think we're all newsed out. So you had one closure below, but you immediately got back above. So the next time we go back below this, according to all of previous price history, it should mean extended downside. And it would probably break down and out of this channel. It would very likely do that because this channel only allows Bitcoin to go down to about 5960K and meet a very important rising bottom of a channel and a very important macro horizontal around 5960. So I'd have to go to a longer term chart to show you downside price action, where it would go, because this would end up being a monthly pullback. If the weekly gives this up, it will be a monthly pullback. You'll have monthly pullback targets. We've been targeting in about 45K for that for quite some time. So if you get a second closure below there, that means, similar to the past, you went below, got above, couldn't stay above, boom, extended downside. So now we're in what I call my super macro mega Bitcoin chart. And Bitcoin was not ever below the line it's below now. See this line? Look. Guess how low Bitcoin price was last time it was below that line. $11. And now we're not only below it, but look, this entire run, relative to previous runs, is hyper bearish. Because we're bumping our head on it as resistance. Then you had a classical failure rejection pattern. So if you come up to a line, if price is coming up to it, you go above, fail, rejection. That is one of the most classical ways to get rejected by something, whether it's flat or rising. If it's a big, fat resistance, regardless of whether it's rising or flat, that is essentially the most common way. So you had a failure rejection pattern, and you took out the weekly low, confirmed a weekly lower high and a lower low. We are now in a downtrend. So the previous time we had that fake out, look, it wasn't a downtrend. It was a no trend. You had a higher high with a lower low. So higher high, lower low. But in order to have a trend, the arrows have to be in the same direction, highs and lows. You have to have a higher high and a higher low to confirm an uptrend, and you have to have a lower high and a lower low to have a downtrend. If one of them if you get something like a pennant with lower highs and higher lows, that is a no trend. You can't trust the trend. You have to wait for resolution of lines. So this was a no trend, and it was a bear trap. But now we are in a confirmed downtrend. After rejection of a line that is technically bearish relative to all Bitcoin previous price history. Rejection, downtrend, and if we go below that line, Bitcoin is at risk for a very, very large downside move, but it's not there yet. It hasn't even touched it. However, so this is why this is important. If you're an altcoin holder who is half exposed or more, this is important. Or wherever the price is behind me, like a weatherman. Hey, it's going to be partly cloudy and the high of 72. Why am I pointing so far backwards? I can just go like this. Oh, wait, because my finger disappears. Look. Whoa, oh, oh. All right. So anyway, there we go. Right here. So this, if you are flat, mostly flat like me, I wish I weren't mostly flat, then you're actually just fine. You wait for an interaction of this and start making choices, ask questions then. How did Bitcoin react? But if you're fully loaded now or half loaded, this is when decision making starts. Like taking profits, bailing out. Like seriously, I just showed you the history of this line, showed multiple charts on how we're getting rejected, despite going sideways for 150 days at all-time highs. But if you break down below, you got downtrend, rejection, and then break below that line. Historically 100% accurate, even though that doesn't mean much anymore because Bitcoin moves differently. But all those things stack on each other. One more thing. For altcoin holders who are half stacked or fully stacked in alts, Tether dominance is actually suggesting a large downside move. So I drew this back in March, guessing how Tether dominance would behave. Tether dominance moves the opposite of crypto. If this goes up, all of crypto goes down. And this line, this double white line, had never been broken since Tether dominance got above it. It broke below it. And so your perfect lower high area, connecting these wicks, coming down, after you get a big breakage like that, typically you race up into a price likes to race up into a lower high. So now we zoom in on this on a lower time frame and realize that this small move here, Bitcoin Tether dominance from here to here. So if this goes up, all of crypto goes down. That took Bitcoin from 74K to 52.5K. Now watch the next move. If this hits that red line, that's a lot bigger. It looks like that line needs to be hit. And oftentimes it'll hit when two things cross. And so that is just before the elections. That would be awesome. A bottom being hit right before the election so you can zoom up. That's what this is suggesting. This is suggesting the downside, the sideways that we have now will break down. This is what this one chart is suggesting. This is not my prediction. Remember that line I told you earlier? I would not say that that's probable. So what this is suggesting is not going to be probable until the king of price action suggests, hey, now we're kind of looking that way. And then this chart will reign supreme then. But as of now, Bitcoin is still above that weekly 21. That's why I'm suggesting the weekly 21 exponential moving average. And if you're newer, you would click the indicators up here on TradingView. And you can just type EMA. ADMA. Whatever. And once you have it, just make one, the 21, make sure it's checked like this, and put it on the weekly for Bitcoin. I'm not on Bitcoin price, but that's how you do that. So once Bitcoin goes below a closure, specifically a closure, just going below doesn't count. So if the week has 5 days left to go, Bitcoin price goes below that, well, it has 5 days till it closes. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin tanks down to 55K. If it zooms back up and closes above, it's fine. Perfectly fine. And it's actually bullish. It's actually be pretty bullish if that happened. I would probably have to start thinking to start entering crypto a lot harder then. So if you get a weekly closure below the weekly 21, just realize there are so many things stacked on that give permission for Bitcoin to have a full-on monthly pullback down to, I didn't show you why the target is such. And so what this is suggesting is this weekly dilemma would turn into a monthly pullback because you had 7 green months for the first time ever in Bitcoin's price history. Not even 2011 and 2013 when Bitcoin went from a fraction of a penny up to $1,300, the biggest run out of any asset in the history of mankind on a percentage basis. Because Bitcoin is the best performing asset of all time. Even better than tulips in the 1600s. I think it was 1600s. And so, 7 in a row. Well, it would be a monthly pullback. So just, I don't know, what are some obvious lines here? Boom. Okay, that looks obvious. Bam. What price would that be? Well, you're looking in the 40s. But, It also makes sense to want to come down to hit this line, and that would be a wick below 40K. Because this is your super macro mega line. And price, it has been using the line just above as resistance. So if it can't get above it, it will come down to that line before it tries it again. That's just how it works. It will, and it needs a monthly pullback after 7 in a row. It's just had sideways since then. So in summary, Bitcoin price has permission to go sideways, and I really never showed you why. Here's why. Because it could just go like this. So you have a 2-year channel as well. Bitcoin can just go sideways until when? The election, that's November 1st, and then pop up. So Bitcoin can really go down until elections, then really recover in a V-shaped fashion, or it can go sideways on a 2-year chart basis instead of a super macro mega, and exactly around elections also go up. The timing is equal on both. But the most important, the group that for whom this is most important is if you are half exposed or deeply exposed into crypto right now, this is the stuff you have to think about. If you're flat, this is actually a breath of fresh air. Yes, the idea of much lower prices could, potentially rain upon us. Thank you, goodness. Thank you, crypto deities. All that good stuff. You're just you're playing patty cake over there. But if you are in crypto, I cannot strongly suggest enough to use your chart to set up the weekly 21 EMA. If a closure goes below there, then strongly consider taking some type of action. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. Feel free to check out the Discord community. Links to that and how to check it out are in the description section within the description of my videos and my YouTube tiers of which I have 3. You can hit the join button, the blue join button down below, somewhere over here, right there, maybe right there, and you can check out what that's about. I offer 4 to 5 lives a week on YouTube tiers. They're private. It's a private community. You don't have access to it on free YouTube, and also I have 5 or 6 lives on my Discord, and you can check that out. You just got Timified worldwide. Stay safe, especially if you are ass deep or knee deep into altcoins. Peace.